guys. Hello. Hi guys. I'm so excited. Jessica, you were only 4 hours early this morning.
Only 4 hours. I've been here the whole time waiting for you.
She's prompt. She's on it. She's prompt.
Right?
I'm so sorry. I thought that was so entertaining. But I thought it was so entertaining. That's totally.
I'm like, wait.
Can you guys hear me clearly or no?
It went out.
Yes.
Okay. So this is our first one. Clearly. So I'm super excited, but I also am gonna just kind of wing this. I have like ideas of things I want to go over and discuss, but I have like, I'm just gonna tell you guys the vision for these. You guys are going to be my guinea pigs, okay? So what my big desire and dream for these rank calls is that each and every one of you guys, hold on, first off, will you guys all mute your screens? And anytime you want to say something, please feel free to say something, but just mute it so there's not a lot of background noise. So like speak up whenever you want to, obviously. But my dream for these is that you guys can be poured into where you're at. So it's not like, these are not, I don't have like the same topics for each call, like each rank. So that is like one of the things. I want you to feel like you're being poured into exactly in the rank that you're at, so that you can go to the next rank, obviously. But then also I want, so there's this leader, I don't even know what team she's on. She's maybe a crown diamond, at least a diamond. And she said that she feels her biggest strength and like how her business shifted recently was she stopped focusing on her silvers and her golds and up. She's like, I started focusing on my stars as my main focus. That's literally where I spent all of my time and all of my resources and everything was focusing on my stars. And obviously, like, by doing rank calls for everybody, that's not me just focusing on my stars, but it gave me the idea and like the vision of like, shoot, I need to, not that, please don't think that once you hit silver, you have like this inner code with me and like we chit chat like girlfriends every day, all day. Cause that doesn't happen. Like, I love you. I love everybody. Like, but that doesn't happen. But I want every rank, no matter what the rank is, to be poured into as much as possible. And I want, like, I feel like in terms of like what she was saying for stars, like the more, you guys know how many freaking stars we have on our team? There's a lot of stars. If we got all of those stars to become senior stars, what that would do for organization, and senior stars to become executive and so on and so forth. So I want every rank to be poured into exactly where they're at. And one thing that we're for sure going to cover every talk is so for a while I was pushing out daily IPAs. And I liked that, and I think you guys like that too, but I wanted to try something different. And so Daisha she started doing the weekly IPA, so it's still 5 IPAs, but it's just posted every Monday. So I kind of want to like briefly go over those with you guys, see if you're doing them, what success you're having with them, what struggles you're having with them. But then this is something, and this is why I'm calling you guys my guinea pigs, because literally this is the first rank call that we've had. I would love your opinion, because literally I'm like, this could be amazing or it could be terrible. I would love your opinion on if you would even want to or think it'd be great to kind of like find a buddy system in this. It doesn't have to be somebody in your downline or your direct upline or anything. It can literally be cross-line friend or anybody on this call, anybody on our team that's executive. But kind of partner up with them. And I almost think it'd be better if it was a cross-line person, because I feel like you already are interacting with your downline and your upline directly a lot as it is. So if it's a cross-line person, buddy up with them and just message each other a few times a week. Hey, how are you doing on the IPAs? Hey, what's working well for you this week? Hey, what are you struggling with? What can I encourage you in, inspire you in, whatever. But I think that could be really cool. I for sure am going to encourage our stars and our senior stars to do it, because I think that could be really key for them, just so they can feel like they have somebody outside of their enroller or their sponsor to like really bounce stuff off of. So I for sure am going to encourage it for those two ranks, but I would love, like, or do you guys feel like that could be beneficial to you, or do you feel like, oh my gosh, that's just another thing? Because that's the last thing I want. Like, you can't succeed in a business when you feel like overwhelmed to start anywhere because you have 5,000 things you need to do. So unmute yourselves if you have an opinion. Anyone?
My question, is it within executive you want to, or how are you thinking that's going to work?
Within your rank. So anybody else that's executive. And if you guys need to, like, because obviously not all of our executives are on this call. So if you guys want me to post like a list of all of our executives, then you can totally see that and like pick and choose from there, and don't have your feelings hurt if you weren't picked by somebody, like whatever. Like, it doesn't, there's no like better executive than another. So like just any executive, I think in my mind, I think that it would be most beneficial to have it be somebody like cross-line from you rather than in your downline, just so it's like a fresh person for you. Even though we're all on the same team, it's somebody different than who you commonly interact with already. But if that's like a yay, we should run forward with that, then I would love that. And if you guys are like, nah, no thank you, then that's okay too. But you're my guinea pigs today, so I'd love to know what you guys think.
I would love that.
Diane, you said yeah?
I would love that, yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're running for the same thing, and I think that would be incredible to have someone to partner with, personally, for me.
Awesome. It seems like shaking of heads and speakers are saying consensus is yes. Liz, are you a yes? Okay, good. Okay, because I think that could be so cool. I got paired up with, so the girl, I'm assuming most of you guys know my history with Young Living, but if you don't, super, super quick synopsis. I signed up, I was a blogger. I signed up with a girl that I read her blog, and I ordered for like a year and never even considered the business. And she approached me about it 3 different times, 3 different months in a row. And I said, no. And then finally I said yes. And I tried to do the business with her for like 2 or 3 months, and I got a lot of signups, but I had no idea, outside of selling them a kit, I didn't have any resources, like literally whatsoever. There was no Facebook group. There was no nothing. I didn't know what stacking was. I didn't know anything. And I asked my girl a lot, like, what do I do? And she's like, well, you sold them in the kit. And I'm like, that's it? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, how does anybody make awesome money in this if you just rely on kit sales every month? So it was a mess. I switched to Happy Oilers. And when I first started, so Taryn is who I switched over to be with, and she stacked me under this girl, Jenna. So she put me and Jenna and 2 other girls in a group message. And for that, probably that first, like at least that first 6 months, I feel like I gained so much knowledge just in that group message. And granted, I'm asking you to partner up one-on-one because I think that we have enough group messages going that I think it'd be better to do just one-on-one. But I think it could be really good just to have that one person that A, is going to like support you, but also like hold you accountable. Like, hey, did you do your IPAs? Hey, did you do this? Like, and just not call you out, because I'm not asking you guys to be mean or harsh to each other, but just have somebody to hold you accountable. I think that could be cool. I had some stuff written down. Oh no, where did my paper go? Oh, it's in my phone. Sorry, y'all. First off, hi. How's everybody's month going? Like, what is it for people? Has everybody got their crap shipped out to them? Young Living.
I know. I was on the phone with the executive line for like a half an hour the other day, and they're so sweet, but they're like, yep, it's boxed. It just hasn't shipped, and they had no idea. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
When was that order from?
Huh?
When was that order from?
The 4th.
They are like seriously making me die a slow and painful death with the shipping issues. It's killing.
Well, the same problem. I think Tessa had the same problem, and it was Brooke. And then I know you said Debbie got hers like super quick.
Yeah.
My sister got hers super quick, and they ordered like a couple days ago. So I don't know.
I was on the exec line a few nights ago too, trying to follow up on some kit orders that were placed like on the 4th, and they still hadn't shipped out, and then my ER order hadn't shipped out, and I think this kid was probably 16. Like he just was like chatty and like, really, is there anything else? Really, really this, really that? And I was like, no, I think that's it. Like you did your best. Like good job.
A for effort.
He was so sweet too, because it was like he didn't really give me any definitive answers. He was like, personally, this is how I feel. And I was like, okay, man, thanks.
That does not help me whatsoever.
No.
I like you, but I don't care about your feelings right now.
Right.
Okay. Well, if you guys still have, especially if you have something that was placed in November, to my knowledge, everything from November should be shipped unless it was the diffusers that were on sale. They have not been able to give me an exact time on when those are going to go out. I know that is beyond frustrating, trust me. But if you have an order from November that's not the diffusers, let me know and I'll get it handled today for sure. But I feel like it's been really rough with them having the shipping be so bad, especially for all of our kit sales that we had last month, that like in an ideal world, first and foremost, they'd be on ER at sign up. If they're not on ER at sign up, the next ideal thing would be the next month to get them on ER, but it's really hard to get somebody to sign up for ER if they haven't even gotten their kit yet. So they're making us work for it, really making us make sure we have that relationship aspect there. But aside from that hardness, do you guys feel like this month is going okay? What are your thoughts and where are you at? Liz,
My numbers are, go ahead. My numbers are low. I feel like things are kind of off. I don't know. I just feel off this month. That's honest. So
I'm not looking for non-honest.
I'm definitely not anywhere near where I need to be. It's like
so that's me.
Opposite month.
So I feel like last year we went from November to December and we actually grew, which typically November is such a huge month that most teams don't grow in December. They don't necessarily fall back a ton, but they usually fall back a little bit or maintain. They usually don't grow. But last year, I don't know how. I don't feel like I think we just never had the mindset of we won't grow, and so we just grew. It was really interesting because I very distinctly remember being on like the leaders group and whatever, and everybody's like, oh, this is such a hard month. And I'm like, we're doing pretty good over here. I don't know what we're doing differently, but we're doing good. But I feel like as a team, we're feeling it more this month. And I feel like it's the shipping issues are affecting everything. And I feel like the good part of that is that the shipping issues are almost done. From here on out, everything will be shipped out. They said that all kit sales will have been shipped out by either today or tomorrow at the very latest. So that's good. And then especially once they open the East Coast warehouse for shipping, that's just going to be like such a breath of fresh air, especially for all of our East Coast friends, because I mean, I feel like our packages take a while to get here, and I'm not on East Coast. I can't even imagine how much time it takes, especially when we're all used to like Amazon Prime. So that's the good and bad of like, okay, yes, this month does feel a little bit funky. I feel like a lot of us had a little bit of like a hustle hangover from November too, because November was just insane for everyone. I felt like I couldn't really function for a few days there afterwards. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't see straight. But I want to encourage you guys for two things. One, all the crap, all the hard issues are soon resolving. So it will be back to you can sell a kit confidently and not wonder if they're going to get something or not within 30 days. So that's really good. But also, it's really, really, really important for us as a team. I feel like one of the hardest parts of being a leader. You guys are all leaders. I don't know if you ever doubt that for a second, but if you do, don't, because you're leaders. If you've come to executive, you are leading a team. The hardest part of being a leader is being able to deal with like a hard month, a big obstacle, big hurdles, people having, and this is not, I'm not saying you guys are complaining because that's not what's happening here, but dealing with a bunch of complaints, like putting out fires, whatever, and doing it with a positive attitude and a smile on your face. I don't ever want us to be a team that, like, if you guys ever know that a lot of hard crap is happening and you see me just like this all the time and saying, oh, it's all fine, like I don't want to do that, but I definitely do want to try to have a smile and try to find a positive lining in it, because hopefully usually there is one, first and foremost. But your team is going to look to you when crap gets hard. If it's a slower month, I mean, just get ready for when there are slower months in a row, because I feel like we've had the good, that when people start having a hard month, 1 month is really easy to write off to people of like, oh, that's a bummer that it was a little bit slower. It's okay, you'll pick up. But when there's like 2 months in a row or 3 months in a row where it is slower, it's not that business is bad. It's just, it's a slower month for whatever reason. Your like hardest part of your job is going to be being the encourager and being the positive attitude of it the whole time. Because if you just turn into, oh, I know it's so hard, oh, this just sucks, whatever, your team is going to be right there with you and they're just going to go down. You have to be the one that's like, hey, these shipping issues totally suck. I'm so sorry. How can I help you in it? Hey, this month is not as busy as we were hoping it to be, but let's look at how we can turn it around. Let's look at some IPAs that we can do. Let's look at what is something that we didn't do last month that we can do this month to try to make it a great month. You know, we can't always rely on Young Living to have sales for it to be an amazing month. Unfortunately, I wish that we could, because that'd be awesome. But we cannot. There's no sales coming up that I know of. I don't know any of the inside scoop of sales if they're happening. I do actually know that next month there's a Live Your Passion rally, which they always do something for those. So that's at least nice. But in terms of this month, I don't know. But I feel like we have to just be very conscious of like what tone we set with our team, because if you're not being positive, then your whole team is going to absolutely just go down the spiral. I know that that's not like something fun to hear, but that's just totally the truth of it. I feel like any time I complain to Jeremy, I'm like, oh, I just feel like I've just had to put out like 5,000 fires today. He's like, yeah, that's part of your job. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't like that part of my job. I love my job. I love every aspect of my job, but I don't really love that part of my job. I just want to be like, yay. So you guys are doing amazing. And I know that it's really hard, especially after coming off of 2 incredible months, if this month is a little bit slower. But I also want to encourage you to look back at like the graph in your dashboard summary. Even if this month is a little bit slower, which don't get your mindset that it's going to be, because we are not even halfway through the month. So please, for the love of baby Jesus, don't be like, oh, this month it's not going to be that great, because there's so much time left. It's not even funny. But I promise you, if you look back at your dashboard summary, even if you dip down a little bit from last month, it's still going to be a huge growth from what September was, or even maybe even what October was. But for sure, look back at the summer months and look to where you are now, and it's just going to be like really eye-opening. Every time I get worried or bummed that we're not going to hit diamond again this month, I'm like, okay, Adrienne, you guys, we grew 90,000 OGV in 2 months. Like, that's pretty normal if we fall back a little bit, because that was a stupid amount of growth in 2 months. Like, that's not normal. So it would be actually normal if we don't hit it again. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm putting out to the universe that we are hitting again and that we are going to maintain diamond. But like I said, you can't just be so bummed if you don't always have these huge stair-step months. Like, I just had lunch. I feel like, first off, I'm going to stop word vomiting in a minute because I feel like that's all I'm doing. But I just had lunch with a friend who unfortunately is not on our team, which really sucks. But she was like, if I would have quit all the times that I fell back in a month, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I wouldn't be making a paycheck that is actually supporting. Her husband lost his job, and she's the sole breadwinner of their family right now. And she's like, I just keep thinking to myself, oh my gosh, all those months that I fell back and I wanted to quit, if I would have, we literally would have no way to provide for our family right now, no way to pay for Christmas right now, no roof over our head. Like, literally, that's how crazy it is. So I just always think, like, man, I feel like we just get so in the mindset of if we're not growing every month, that we're not doing a good job, or that it's not a good month. And it still can be an insane, huge month, even if we don't have crazy growth over it. I think we just all get so spoiled by growing super fast that if it doesn't happen every month, that it's like a bummer, and it shouldn't be. I'm going to stop word vomiting for a second and let you guys, do you have any questions, comments, concerns? What do you need help with? What can I do for you? What do you want to see change? What? Anyone?
It's probably
I
off
was just-
topic. I was going to ask about the Live Your Passion rally.
Yes.
That's here.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So you can always, this is probably really bad for me to say as a leader. I never have any desire to host a Live Your Passion rally. Sorry, locals. If you want to host one, by all means do it, and I'll show up at your event. But I don't ever want to personally host one, but they're all over. There's probably multiple ones in Phoenix. There's ones online, like Kari always hosts one in the refinery. So they're all over. If you go, I've never been to one in person, but when you're in person, they just show you these videos that they'll be posted online, and then whatever product they're releasing or whatever thing they're releasing will be announced there. So there's a ton of announcements, and there's usually either some sort of sale or new products at them. There's always something exciting about it. I don't know what they're going to be, but there's always something.
So do we go to youngliving.com to find out more details, or where's the best way to find it?
It'll be all over the groups.
Oh, our groups. Okay.
Oh yeah, it'll be all over. You will not be able to miss it, even if you want.
Okay.
You want to host one, Amanda?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a Young Living hosted thing, so this is new that people host.
You just sign up to host. I don't.
Okay.
Go ahead, Liz.
No, I was just going to go back to the shipping stuff. I was going to say, like, whoever brought it up in the messaging about having the flip kits, like, thank God I have the flip kits, because I've offered them to, I mean, obviously I can only offer it to local people.
Yeah.
But I offered it to 2 of my signups last month, and luckily they've been more than nice and more than understanding, and have been like, no, it's fine. Like, it's exciting when it comes in the mail. Like, my one girl was like, it's going to be like Christmas when it actually shows up on Christmas, probably. So Kayla's been super cool about it. And then the other girl I signed up actually used to do doTERRA. So she's like, I've got enough oils to get me through, so hang on to your kit. But I've told them they're there if you need them. I actually did give out one of them to somebody in the meantime, but I've got one still. So I was just going to say, if you don't have a flip kit, get a flip kit.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to push flip kits. Not that I ever anticipate this shipping nightmare to ever happen again. This has never happened. Like, we will always be busier and a little bit slower during holidays, but don't think that this is like a yearly Young Living thing. Like, I've never seen anything like this. This is insane. But I feel like in general, all mail systems are overloaded during the holidays. So I feel like next year, starting October, November, I'm going to blow up flip kits in our groups and be like, get yourself some, because you're going to want them, because you will sell them. Like, people are going to want them, especially the lazy husbands that wait till like 2 days before Christmas and are like, oh, can you get my wife oils? It's like, no, we're not Amazon Prime.
Well, and then just to go back on what you were saying about, I'm actually really encouraged for this month. I've had 3 so far. I've got 3 people reading stuff right now that are going to get back to me. I know my husband's cousin said that she'll probably buy her kit on Saturday. She's
Awesome.
like, this week is just kind of crazy. Let me get through the week. But it's crazy how much, and I think I commented about it in the silver messaging, just about like sitting down and honestly connecting with people. You know, I sat down like in a bathtub during nap time and connected with 4 people, and 2 out of the 4 were just like, oh yeah, I saw you're doing Young Living. Like, can you tell me more? And I was like, oh my God, Sarah, it works.
Well, yeah, you don't have to bring up oils. If you connect with them and you've been posting consistently about it, that's what's going to be on their mind, like without a shadow of a doubt. Like if you're posting about them, even just you messaging them, hi, how you doing? They're going to think oils. So you don't have to bring it up. They will bring it up.
Yeah. And I don't. And then they're like, oh, are you still a nurse? How much are you working? I'm like, yeah, I still work 1 day a week, but I'm also doing Young Living. And then sometimes I kind of just leave it at that. And then sometimes I have to hold myself back. I get a little eager and a little anxious. And sometimes I catch myself like writing a million different texts. And then I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, totally.
So, but I'm hopeful for this month. I think it's going to be good.
That's awesome.
So
I'm with Liz. I definitely have been super encouraged, and way to go, Liz, because you're killing it. But I haven't sold too many kits so far, and I started off the month with 3 kit sales, and that was like very encouraging.
Yeah.
And everyone, what are you doing? And I was like, really? This is what I've been doing the past 3 months. So like the whole planting seeds thing is real, and I feel like that's what I've been encouraging our team, like just in general, is like this is not like do this now and they're going to want to. And so I think the planting seeds goes really far when you really truly see it as not a waste of time, but just over time, who knows what happens. And if anything, building those relationships with people so they see like this is not like a fad. This is not phony, like this is something I'm really passionate about. And so I feel like that was nice to have 3 kit sales, and any more than that is great because I'm not usually selling too many kits a month. But so I feel like that has been super encouraging just to know like, oh, people are listening. People are like, they're interested and they do definitely want to know. Of course, I'm like, they're all 3 for Christmas gifts that I've been talking to family members about. And so like 2 of them are with Glitch groups. I'm like, oh, I just wish I could talk to them about it with the Christmas gifts. So
that's so funny. And that goes to show like if you stopped being consistent in that, then you could have say you worked for this, you were consistent for a month and then you stopped, like that wouldn't be. I always tell people like, please just give it your all for at least 3 months minimum. And in my world, I would love to say give it all your all for a year. If at a year you're not happy, then whatever. But that sounds terrifying to people. But give it your all for at least 3 months, because in 90 days when you first started sharing, if you were consistent in those 90 days, you're gonna see all the benefits of it. Like you will. There's no way that you won't. So I'm so glad that you're finally feeling that. That's so good.
I had a question and I put it in the private message, like our group. Because I'm terrified that I'm gonna probably fall back this month, just because of my legs. But will I still be able? And I asked, will I still be in that considered like in that group, or will I get like the boot out of there? Because I feel so supported in that group.
They're not kicking you out.
Okay.
I don't know how it goes for like corporate side in terms of like, are you able to still use the exec line? To be honest, I'm not sure. I feel like there might be like you have to hit it again within a certain amount of months. Otherwise then you can't use it, or I don't know. Don't even put that out to the universe. Just say, okay, I either will hit it again this month or at least the next month. But yeah, you're not getting kicked out of anything on our end. So don't worry about that. And I just realized I'll totally put a whole list of exec names in the Flipping to Silver message. That's a perfect spot to put all the names. And then that way you guys can go through. Diana, were you on the very beginning of this call? I don't remember when you popped on. So I said, whoever wants to do it, I think it's a really great idea, but if somebody doesn't want to do it, that's fine too. But I would love for people, not just execs that are on this call, any of our executives that are on our team, find somebody that's not in your downline or your upline, like find a crossline friend to kind of become like your buddy for this, to hold each other accountable, see if they're doing IPAs every week, what, even like, hey, what social media posts have worked well for you, whatever it is. I did a Zoom with a different leg this morning. I and I was telling them about this, and a lot of them didn't know you could do this. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. So in Instagram, so a lot of people tell me like it's really hard to be consistent posting social media, whether it be about oils or personal, when there's days where I don't feel like anything is going on or I don't have anything special happening. And I'm thinking, oh, that's funny that you think my life is that entertaining that I actually have amazing things to post about every day. I don't. There's so many days where I'm like, I literally post a photo of my kids and say, love them, because that's all the creativity I can get out that day. I'm like, I don't know. But something that I do to help is if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm like, oh, that's a really great oil post, or, oh, that post about whatever that person's life, whatever they're talking about, and I know that I have a story similar that I haven't ever shared or whatever, I will go and let me put my computer down. On the post, if you click this, you can create categories and you can have it be like oil posts, personal posts, business posts, whatever. And you can create categories and it will save that post to that. So then when you go to your profile, this is really hard to do backwards. And you click this, you can look at either your categories or just look at all the photos, and you can just use those. Obviously don't use that person's photo in words, but have that saved as like inspiration for posts. That way you don't have an excuse on the days that you're feeling not creative or have no idea what to post about, or you didn't do anything that day. You have like a whole list of like, oh, I could do something like that, or I could do something like that. Or if you ever have like an hour of time and you have a bunch of oil post ideas, sit down and share them out, spacing them out every other day. If you post enough personal posts in between, share them out for the next week and a half. And then you don't even have to think about what you're going to post oily for the next week and a half. It's just done. And then there's no excuse of why you're not posting, because they're already done for you. So you guys just have to, me included, I feel like some days I'll be like, oh, I just worked so much today, but I don't feel like I got anything done. And those are the days that I literally find myself just scrolling through Facebook. I'm like, that is not working. Like, that does not actually create anything for me. If I'm being intentional and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to scroll through Facebook and see if anything pops up of somebody complaining about an issue or looking for somebody that I haven't connected with in a while. Like Chelsea Humphreys calls it the TPC, the 10-person club. And she encourages her team to reach out to 10 people every day. It doesn't have to be a different 10 people every day, but she encourages like literally to create connections with 10 different people every day from your past, from your old coworkers, mommy groups, whatever it may be, and just start the conversations. Like Liz was saying, just start a conversation with them. Do not bring up oils, and just get that going, because that is going to be so good. You guys see that Tanya, I never can say her last name, Giardina, I don't know. She kills it, obviously, and does so many vendor events. But she told me, I was like, Tanya, I'm so proud of you for doing this and so thankful that you're willing to share all your knowledge with us in it. And she goes, Adrienne, if people even watch my videos and whatever and still say, I don't want to do vendor events, that's fine. As long as they can get it through their head that there's so much more that they could be doing, so much more that they could be hustling, so many different avenues that they're not utilizing that they could be. That's more than what I want. That's all I want for people to get out of this. And I'm like, preach, because I feel like there are so many different ways to do this business, and there's no right or wrong way. Just because I grow mainly online does not mean that all of you should grow mainly online. Just because I don't do X, Y, and Z doesn't mean you guys should not do X, Y, and Z. You need to, if you're ever feeling stuck or you're like, I am not getting the kit sales that I feel like I should be or that I used to be or whatever, or especially if you, first off, you're never ever tapped out, but if you feel like your inner circle's tapped out, go out and do make and takes, do in-person classes, do vendor events, go actually like talk to people in like the mommy and me groups and set up something with that. Like there's so many ways that you can hustle that you aren't even doing yet. And once you've done all those and then you're like, I'm tapped out, then we can talk. Okay? Preach, Tanya. Man, she's good. I love you guys. It's going to kick us off in a hot second. I did record this, but I didn't want to tell people that I'm recording this because I would much rather you guys actually be on than just watch a recorded version. but I will post this in the Flipping to Silver, and I'll post a list of executives. So find a buddy. It's going to be so good. And we'll do this again in like 2 weeks. We're going to do these every other week. So after Christmas. I love you guys. Mwah. Message me if you ever have questions. I'm always here. Okay. Bye.